48 countries, one trophy, and a bracket so new that most people who call themselves football fans cannot fully explain it to you. Here is the thing nobody mentions. The 2026 World Cup does not work like any World Cup before it. The groups are smaller, the knockout round starts earlier, and there is a tiebreaker rule buried inside this tournament that could eliminate a team. A team that has not lost a single game. Here is exactly how it works. For 32 years, the World Cup ran on the same engine. 32 teams, 8 groups of 4. 2 go through. Clean, simple, easy to track on a napkin. Every 4 years, the same structure, the same rhythm. 8 groups, 16 teams advancing, then straight knockout until one team lifts the trophy. Generations of fans grew up understanding exactly how it worked, without anyone having to explain it. Then FIFA looked at that system and said, what if we just added 16 more countries? So they did. The 2026 World Cup has 48 teams. It is the biggest World Cup in history. More nations, more games, more moments where a country qualifies for the first time and an entire stadium loses its mind collectively. More upsets, more stories, more football. Whether you think that is genius or bloat, it is happening, so you may as well understand it. 48 teams get divided into 12 groups. Not 8, 12. Each group has 4 teams. That part feels familiar. But here is where the math starts to matter. 12 groups of 4 gives you 48 teams total. The math is simple. The consequences are not. In the group stage, every team plays 3 games, one against each opponent in their group. You win, you get 3 points. You draw, you get 1 point each. You lose, you get nothing. That part has not changed since 1994. That part everyone knows. At the end of 3 games, the group table is set. The team with the most points sits first. The team with the second most sits second. And here is where 2026 diverges from every World Cup before it. In the old format, top 2 from each group advanced. 8 groups, 2 spots each. Simple arithmetic. 16 teams through, 16 teams home. In 2026, the top 2 from each group still advance. But 12 groups times 2 is only 24 teams. And the round after the group stage needs 32 teams to function. 24 does not equal 32. Someone has to fill those 8 remaining spots. So FIFA created a wildcard round. The 8 best third-place teams, drawn from across all 12 groups, also qualify for the knockout stage. Third place. Not first, not second, third, and still alive. This is the part most fans skip over entirely. This is also the part that will define entire tournament runs in 2026. Here's the scenario. Your country is in a tough group. You lose your first game. You win your second. You draw your third. You finish third in the group with 4 points. In the old World Cup, you go home. Full stop. No discussion. In 2026, you might still be in it. Because across all 12 groups, there are 12 third-place teams. Only 8 of them advance. The best 8, ranked against each other by a very specific set of criteria, go through to the round of 32. The other 4 go home, having not finished last in their group. That is brutal. And it is decided by a ranking system most fans have never had to think about before. The third-place teams are compared first by points. Then, if teams are equal on points, by goal difference. How many more goals you scored than you conceded across all 3 games. Then by total goals scored. Then by fair play points, calculated from yellow and red cards across the group stage. Then, if everything is somehow still level after all of that, by FIFA World Ranking. That last one. FIFA World Ranking. As a tournament tiebreaker. In the biggest sporting event on the planet. It does not feel real. It is absolutely real. What this means in practice. A team in the final minutes of their third group game, already eliminated from first or second place, might be frantically trying to score 1 more goal. Not to win the group, not even to finish second, just to improve their goal difference enough to edge out another third-place team in a completely different group, playing simultaneously in a different city, in a different stadium that they cannot see or control. That is the group stage. That is what is at stake in every single minute. 32 teams. Single elimination. You lose, you go home. No second chances, no points, no consolation, nothing. This is where the tournament becomes the tournament. Every game from this point forward is final. Every mistake is permanent. Every missed penalty, every defensive lapse, every red card in the 63rd minute, it all ends someone's World Cup on the spot. The 32 teams come from 24 group winners and runners-up, plus the 8 best third-place finishers. They are drawn into a bracket. One game, 90 minutes, then extra time if the score is level, then penalties if you are still tied after that. No draws here. No points. No coming back. One team advances. One team books their flights home. From 32, you go to 16. Then 8, then 4, then 2. Each round is single elimination. Each game is win or go home. The bracket narrows every week like a funnel pulling inward until 2 teams are left standing in a stadium somewhere in the United States, Canada, or Mexico. 3 countries hosting a single tournament simultaneously, which is also new, but that is a different video. The final is one game, 90 minutes. The winner lifts the trophy. The loser receives a runner-up medal they will think about for the rest of their career, and probably mention in every interview for the next 4 years. This is not complicated. It is just relentless. Now, the tiebreaker inside the groups. This is the wrinkle most people miss entirely, and it matters more than it sounds. Imagine 2 teams in the same group finish on equal points. This happens constantly. It is not rare, it is routine. FIFA has to separate them, and the order in which they apply the tiebreakers is not random, it is deliberate. First, goal difference across all group games. The team that outscored their opponents by a wider margin goes above. Second, total goals scored. Scoring 5 and conceding 3 beats scoring 1 and conceding none. Attacking football is structurally rewarded. Defensive football is structurally punished. That is a design choice. Someone made that decision on purpose. Third, head-to-head points. Did the 2 tied teams play each other in the group? Who won that specific game? Fourth, head-to-head goal difference in just that match. Fifth, fair play points. Yellow cards worth -1 point. Red cards worth -3. Sixth, and only if everything above is somehow perfectly equal, FIFA World Ranking. 6 tiebreakers, applied in strict order. And coaches, analysts, and entire national football federations track every single one of them in real time during the group stage. You can be sitting at home watching your team play and go from "we're through" to "we're out" in the space of 2 minutes. Because a game in a different city between 2 teams you have never followed just ended with a goal that shifted the goal difference column by 1. That is the group stage. That is what you are actually watching. Here is something the broadcast coverage will mention once and then move past. In 2026, the schedule is built so that some round of 32 matches begin before every group has finished playing. This creates a rest gap between teams in the knockout stage. And rest in professional football is not a small variable. A team with 2 extra days of recovery moves faster, makes better decisions in the 85th minute, executes set pieces with more precision. The physical advantage is real, and it is measurable. Which means some coaches will make a calculated decision in their final group game. They will look at the bracket, they will look at who they face if they finish first versus second. They will look at the rest schedule, and some of them, the ones who have done the math, will deliberately not try to win that final group game. They will manage the result. They will finish second on purpose, because second in their group leads to an easier path, a better rest window, or a weaker opponent in the next round. It sounds absurd. It is a legitimate strategy. It has happened before in major tournaments. It will happen again in 2026. The 2026 World Cup is the first time this specific format has ever been used. There is no historical playbook. No coach has navigated a 48-team group stage before. No analyst has modeled third-place tiebreaker scenarios from a pool of 12 groups before. The teams entering this tournament are preparing for situations that have never existed in competitive football. Every fan watching in 2026 is watching something genuinely new. The tournament looks like the World Cup. It sounds like the World Cup. But underneath the surface, the structure is different. And the teams that understand that difference, that manage their goal difference deliberately, that game their rest schedules, that calculate their third-place safety net before the group stage even begins, those teams will have a real edge over the ones that do not. Understanding the format is not just trivia. It is watching the game at a different level. 48 teams enter 12 groups of 4. Everyone plays 3 games. The top 2 from each group advance automatically. The 8 best third-place teams join them. 32 teams enter the knockout rounds. Single elimination from there. Round of 32, round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, final. One champion. The whole thing runs roughly 5 weeks, and tucked inside every group game, every corner kick, every yellow card, every goal conceded in the 90th minute is a layer of mathematics that shapes the bracket long before anyone kicks a ball in a knockout round. That is the 2026 World Cup. You now understand it better than most people who will watch every single game of it. The game has not changed. You have. You're welcome. Subscribe if you enjoyed this type of content. It means a lot.